Okay, welcome to this video on integration, particularly the area below the curve is what we are going to be focusing on. I have a question here that reads, the diagram below shows a straight line intersecting the curve y is equals to x minus 1 squared plus 4 at the points P and Q, and the line also cuts x-axis at point 7, 0 and at y-axis at point 0, 7. So the diagram is here, and we are going to do three questions. We are going to find the equation of the straight line in the form of y is equals to mx plus c, and we are also going to focus on finding the coordinates of point P and Q where the curve cuts the straight line. And then part C of the question, we are going to calculate the area of the shaded region. So let's get started. Solution. So just like I have said here, you can see we have the straight line and we have our curve. Our curve is y is equals to x minus 1 square plus 4. And then our straight line is cutting the x-axis at point 7, 0, and at this point on y-axis 0, 7. So the first question says, find the equation of the straight line in the form of y is equals to mx plus c. So our solution here, to find our equation, we are going to locate the 2 points. We have point 7, 0, and we have another point here, 0, 7. So with the 2 points, we can first of all establish the gradient, which is given by change in y over change in x, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So in this case, if we designate this one to be our x1, y1, this one to be y2, x2, then y2 minus y1, we are going to have 0 minus 7 over x2 minus x1, so we are going to have 7 minus 0, so this is minus 7 over 7, and the answer is negative 1. So our gradient is equals to minus 1. Now to get the equation in the form of mx plus c, we are going to pick one of the points. I will pick this one. Then with our gradient, we can get our equation. I will say this, y minus 7 over x minus 0 is equals to minus 1, and so our equation reduces to minus x plus 7. That checks. So we have answered the first question. The second question says, find the coordinates of point P and Q. So point P and Q are here, so you can see them. Now to get these 2 points, we are going to equate the equation of the curve and the straight line. The point of intersection between the curve and the straight line will give us the coordinates of the 2 points P and Q. So our curve is x minus 1 quantity square plus 4, and our straight line is minus x plus 7. Now we are trying to establish where the two are equal, and this is at this point and at this point, and then we try to get the value of x, then afterwards we are going to get the value of y, and that will be the coordinates of point P and point Q. So the left hand side reduces to x squared minus 2x plus 1 plus 4 is equals to minus x plus 7. And we can simplify further. We are going to have minus x here, and this is plus 5 minus 7 is equals to 0. So x squared minus x minus 2 is equals to 0. So this one is a quadratic equation. To simplify this, we are going to ask ourselves, where is the point P? Product is equals to minus 2, sum is equals to minus 1. So we are trying to come up with 2 points where the sum is minus 1 and the product is minus 2. So the two numbers to me seem like minus 2 and 1, because when you multiply the 2, you're going to get minus 2, and when you sum them up, you're going to have minus 1. So to factor this, we're going to have x squared minus 2x plus x minus 2 is equals to 0. So we factor this x out, we're going to have x minus 2 plus 1x minus 2, and so we can say either x is equals to minus 1 or x is equals to 2. Alright, so with the 2, we can now come right here. We have x is either equal to 2 or x is equals to, allow me to go back a little bit, x is equals to minus 1. Now with the 2 points, seems to me like the minus 1 is here. So this is where the minus 1 is, if you can trace where the curve is. And then here is our 2. So what is the corresponding y value? Because what we want to have is the coordinate of point P and Q. So we are going to say, just pick the straight line. We know y was equals to minus x plus 7. That was our equation of a straight line. So plus 7. And now we ask ourselves, when x is 2, what is our y value? So when x is 2, our y becomes minus 2 plus 7, and that becomes 5. So one of the point is 2, 5, and that point should be equal to q, not p. So this is q. Then our another one is when x is equals to minus 1. Again, we substitute here. So we are going to have y is equals to minus of minus 1 plus 7, and that becomes y is equals to 8. So the coordinate again becomes p of minus 1, comma 8. So we have really come up with points P and Q, which are the coordinates of the point of intersection between the curve and the straight line. Alright, that seems like we have answered question B, where we are finding the coordinates of point P and Q. Now, to find the area of the shaded region, we are going to find the area bounded by the straight line, subtract the area bounded by the curve. That way, we will get the area entrapped here, the area of the shaded region. Now, how do we do that? Now, if we designate now sketch the diagram here to avoid wastage of time. So that our curve resembles something like this. That's what we have there. So this curve is y is equals to x minus 1 quantity square plus 4, I think. Then the straight line here, as we found, is y is equals to minus x plus 7. Now, what we are going to do, I will designate this one as my f of x and this one as my g of x. Now, to get the area below the curve, we are going to say area is equals to the integral from point A to B of the upper curve. In this case, I will take the straight line because it is on the upper side. I subtract the curve. So I will say f of x dx minus integral from A to B. And remember our A to B, A and B are the limits of integration. So g of x dx. Alright. So with that, then I will take my f of x, which is minus x plus 7. I integrate from, remember the integration is from this point, which we found as minus 1, and this one is 2. So I'm moving from minus 1 to 2 dx. Then I'm subtracting the curve from the same point to 2, and our curve is x minus 1 plus 4 quantity dx. Now we proceed. So the integral of the first part here, we are going to have minus x squared over 2 plus 7x, evaluated from minus 1 to 2. Then to integrate this, allow me to first of all expand. So we are going to expand this a little bit. Allow me to expand right here. So this one is x squared minus 2x plus 1, then plus 4. That becomes x squared minus 2x plus 5. Alright. So to integrate that one, we are going to have x cubed over 3 minus x squared plus 5x. Again, we get the limits from minus 1 to 2. Alright. Now substituting the limits here, we are going to have minus 2 quantity squared over 2 plus 7 into brackets 2. That is when you substitute the upper limit of integration. Then minus the lower limits, we have minus of minus 1 quantity square over 2 plus 7 into minus 1. Alright, allow me to first of all do that part because it can be a little bit messy. So this one is minus 4 over 2 plus 14. So this one minus, this one becomes minus 1 over 2 minus 7. So what's the answer here for this part? I've just done this part. I'm going to do this part later on. So this one becomes, we have, allow me to use my calculator here for precision, minus 4 over 2 plus 14, that becomes 12. Then we have whatever is in the parentheses here, we have minus 7.5. all right. So with that, so we can talk of 12 plus 7.5, because minus times minus becomes positive, so we have 19.5. Now that is for this part. Now for this other part here, we are going to have, substituting the upper limits of integration, we are going to have 2 cubed over 3 minus 2 squared plus 5 2 there, that is after substituting the upper limit, minus 1 cubed over 3 minus 1 squared plus 5 into minus 1. It can be a little bit messy, but I'll take care of it. So this one becomes, we have, this one is minus, it's 8 over 3 minus 4 plus 10, right? The first bracket. The second bracket here we have, this is minus 1 over 3, that's minus 1 cubed. Minus 1 over 3, minus 1, then minus 5, right? So I'll shrink my working here. So using the calculator here, 8 over 3 minus 4 plus 10. You have 8 2/3 minus, so we have minus 1 over 3 minus 1 minus 5. So that becomes minus 6 1/3. So when you sum them, so we are going to have 8 over 2 over 3 plus 6 over 1 over 3. So we are going to have 15. Now with the 2, we are going to, the first one was this, so we are subtracting this one over here. So we are going to say we have 19.5 and we have our 15 right here. So we are going to have minus 15, and so if you subtract this, you're going to have 19.5 minus 15, which is just 4.5. So our area becomes 4.5 square units. Thank you.